Boom! What's up, Waves Capital? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. In this quick video, I want to talk to you guys about why I still believe there's hope for a Santa rally, even though the markets have been on somewhat of a losing streak lately. Okay? As we all know, we have a 3-day weekend coming up because it is Christmas. So, Christmas Day itself falls on Sunday, of course the 25th, but the markets are observing the holiday on Monday, December 26th, which means that next week, which also has a 3-day weekend being New Year's weekend, is going to be a compressed trading week. And as we all know, compressed trading weeks lend themselves to heightened levels of volatility. So, I will say right up front that I don't know if we're going to see a rally into Christmas. I don't know if you consider a rally after Christmas a Santa rally. But the primary thing I want to talk about in this video is the coming 1 to 2 weeks, is the fact that I do think we can rally into the New Year's, even if we don't see that, I guess, textbook Santa rally. But I want to talk about why the markets are looking oversold from a technical perspective, why I think the fundamentals as well do lend themselves to upside over the short to medium term, and how I'm positioning myself in my personal portfolio. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. Gonna keep it short and sweet. I do want to kick off the video by reading over my recent newsletter. This is my recent Trade Alert newsletter, going over a few of the basics, just kind of summarizing my general thoughts on the market. And again, over the course of this video, when I feel necessary, I'll just talk to you guys about how I'm trading my portfolio, what I'm looking to do, and why I'm kind of positioning myself on multiple different time horizons, both short and long term, from a bullish perspective. Okay, so it's Tuesday. May not be when you guys are watching this, but the principles still apply, okay? And the markets are finally managing to catch a breath of fresh air following that 4-day losing streak. Although more downside is always possible, given the fundamentals and the economic backdrop, the macro technicals are beginning to look a bit oversold, and significant lines of support are currently being successfully tested. It's optimistic thinking, but a little Santa rally may be coming after all. I can actually get my family some gifts. I'm kidding. Thankfully, I already got all of our Xmas shopping done. So, I hope you guys did as well. You guys are going to be absolutely scrambling if you're planning to go to Target or anything this week. I mean, I finished up yesterday and it was popping at Target. But, yeah, thankfully, all the Xmas shopping's done. And thankfully, we had a pretty good, not a great year, but we had a pretty good year over at Waves Cap. And, yeah, Xmas gifts, very fortunately, were not a problem this year. But, you know, a Santa rally would make me feel even less guilty about buying those Christmas presents. Not that I do feel guilty, but definitely less guilty about potentially getting myself a Christmas present. I will say that. Okay, let me know, you guys. Again, Christmas is coming up. Merry Christmas in advance. I will be recording at least one more video prior to Christmas, but happy holidays, you guys. It's a good time of year. I love this time of year. As you can see below, the NASDAQ 100. So I did discuss the NASDAQ 100. This is one of the 3 major equity indices. Just go straight to CNBC, right? When you see CNBC, you have Dow Jones. This is the legacy index. Turn that off. S&P 500, of course, kind of the benchmark U.S. Index, largest 500 companies in the United States, at least as far as public companies are concerned. And the NASDAQ 100, which is the 100 largest tech companies, or tech-based companies, primarily tech companies, okay? So because we focus more on growth stocks, on tech stocks here at Waves Cap, we have forever, I feel it's the most necessary and actually the most telling in terms of what the markets are doing and kind of the trajectory they're following, to take a look at the NASDAQ, because this is definitely the most volatile of the 3 major equity indices, okay? Also, the caveat, love to see the Russell 2K, the small cap index, doing well. You know, we primarily trade small caps, okay? So, love to see that. That is a trend I really hope persists in the new year, okay? So, again, that is why we're covering the NASDAQ. And speaking of, again, the NASDAQ is perfectly bounced off the line of support, which I just mentioned above, right? Significant lines of support are being tested on its textbook ascending channel this morning. And as we speak, it is still bouncing off that. We'll take a look at this soon. This is actually on daily candles. This one is 4-hour candles. But the daily candles, we'll zoom out a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys about what I see playing out as we enter 2023, at least hopefully. Okay, so Again, bounced off the line of support on its ascending channel. Is a rally into the new year to test the top line of resistance on this ascending channel possible? I'd say so, but to reiterate myself, this is pretty optimistic. On top of strong support around 270 4-hour RSI, which is the relative strength index, we'll dive more into that as well on the daily scale, is bottoming out around the strong support level of 30, while 4-hour stochastic RSI is preparing to curl up. These are bullish indicators from a short to medium term time perspective, okay? So, as you guys can see here, again, 4-hour RSI, relative strength index, this top one right here, is bouncing off this 30 level. You can see just even looking at what's just in frame here, I can't move around over here, of course, but you can see every time the NASDAQ has tested this 30 region on the RSI, it's pretty much guaranteed we get a bounce up, and we are seeing that right now. And usually when you see a bounce, you do come to test the EMA, or exponential moving average. So I do think a short-term test of the EMA on the RSI is in order for the NASDAQ. And again, because the NASDAQ is pretty much the benchmark tech index for US tech sectors, it's pretty likely that the majority of tech stocks and growth stocks see that short-term bounce along with the NASDAQ. Once again, that's the reason that we're talking about the NASDAQ right now. Okay, so on top of that, again, stochastic RSI, another great indicator when it comes to momentum trading. About to curl up. I shouldn't say it's about to curl up, but it is bottoming out, and it's pretty much only a matter of time at this point before it curls up. You can see last time this happened, which I would say was around here early November, that real low, we bounced right back. Also after a test of support, or creating, I guess, the line of support on this ascending channel right here. And again, just speaking from a fundamental perspective as well, you guys, tax loss harvesting is a big thing, is a big contributor to the sell-off we've seen over the past 4 or 5 sessions. Again, people just need money for gifts. Investors are getting dismayed and they're getting disheartened. But ultimately, again, and we talked about this a lot over the past probably month or so now, because this happens every single year. Investors, again, especially after a bad year, you're going to cut your losers in order to offset any income that you've made over the course of 2022, okay? So a lot of tax loss harvesting is in effect. But again, over the past few days, the longer this persists, the more the sellers become exhausted and the more it leaves room for buyers. And again, there is very, very significant support right here on multiple fronts, okay? So we will dive into the NASDAQ once again, and then I'll just kind of do a rapid fire of the watch. Let's talk to you guys about some plays I'm excited about right now, similar to the last video, but just like catching you up. We're not going to take a look at Bitcoin and RAT today. I will be making a video on those in the near future, as well as either my favorite or my top 3 stocks going into 2023. Got some videos of those sorts coming, but of course you guys do cover pretty much everything I'm excited about in the newsletter on a daily basis. Cover Bitcoin every single day on the charts in one of my newsletters. So plug that after, but let's keep reading here before diving into the NASDAQ on the daily charts, okay? Large caps are staying afloat, but once again, happy to see that small caps and crypto, again, Russell 2000 looking good. Bitcoin up almost 3%. That's amazing. Looking good on the day. And this is obviously a beneficial and lucrative trend for Waves Cap. So let's hope that this persists into the new year, and I trust that it will. And I trust that we'll continue to pick out the winners, because we definitely have some big winners. Although the markets are just pretty stagnant today, we have some big winners today, which I'm very proud to say, okay? Which again, we'll kind of rapid fire at the end here. But remaining decently hedged, I do want to say that. I do have some puts. I do have a decently sized, as I just said, put position, put options, contract position in my portfolio, just in the case that we do see continued downside. That is always possible. That is to practice responsible portfolio management. No matter how much conviction you guys have on a trade or general direction even, always stay hedged at least a little bit just to offset your losses. And hey, if you still have conviction, take some profits in the short term and reallocate those into your call options, which is exactly kind of what I've been doing over the past month now. And it's been, again, Waves Cap, if any of you are watching and you can attest down in the comments, please do so, because we've been doing pretty damn well over the past month. So slightly more put profits have been taken, and discounted gifts, at least to me, those are my gifts. Those are my gifts during the holiday season, are contracts that are on sale, which I did purchase today, and I dove into those below as always, okay? So you guys, if you want to know how I'm trading my personal portfolio on a day-to-day basis. Just mentioned this. But again, if you want to look into my entire personal portfolio, if you want to know why I'm trading, the way I'm trading, what I'm doing, what I'm buying, when I'm selling, why I'm buying or selling, which again is updated every single trading day during market hours. And again, below this, I do go into the extents of my trades of today. It was a fun day. It's been a busy week so far. And I trust, again, with these compressed trading weeks ahead of us, I do think it should be some exciting times. And again, redeploying profits from what I think will happen in the short term to some longer term call options that I'm excited about. That again, we'll kind of look at the watch list and I'll just give you guys a rapid fire. But again, you guys, if you want to join Waves Capital for real, if you want to join the winning team, I trust the new year will be amazing. That's going to be the first link in the description box down below. $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. You can try free for 7 days into the new year. And if you don't like it, you can always just peace out. But I trust you guys will be sticking around, and I look forward to seeing you in there. So thank you if you join. If not, it's really no big deal. I appreciate you watching right now. Let's talk the NASDAQ on daily candles. Okay, so again, we just looked at the NASDAQ, zoomed in over here. Let's zoom out, dating all the way back to the NASDAQ's pretty much all-time high. Almost a year ago today, back in December of 2021. Okay, so the NASDAQ, since this all-time high, has been in a very visual downtrend, okay, very apparent downtrend. Series of lower highs and lower lows over the past year. And obviously, when we're in a descending channel of this nature, there is a line of resistance and a line of support. So this purple line down here is the line of support. That's kind of, if things get really dark, I do think it's possible that the NASDAQ sees some pretty intense price action. I don't think we go this low, but worst case scenario, if like say a black swan flies into the picture, I do think it's possible that the NASDAQ does see about 220. But personally, all things considered, I talked about the fear and greed index recently as well. We are back in fearful mode. I like to see that. I like to see the markets a little more fearful because we should definitely not be greedy given the macroeconomic backdrop. But I don't think we should be extremely fearful. I think we should be somewhere in the middle, maybe edging on the side of fear. But I do like to see we're back in fear zone because honestly, at the moment, when it comes to foreseeable catalysts, which is what the market prices in, there's no reason to be extremely fearful right now, okay? Unless a black swan flies in, which, again, no one can see coming. So right now, I do think, I guess general sentiment kind of favors the upside. Again, there is tax loss harvesting, which will be legitimately, or literally in effect, I should say, until January 1st of 2023. But again, over the past few days, it probably scared a lot of people out. The fear and greed index displays that. And I do think that given the multiple levels of technical support and what we just covered when it came to the 4-hour RSI and EMA, even when you look at kind of the daily RSI and EMA, we're getting pretty oversold. And stochastic RSI looks like it wants to curl up, while again, you're just seeing some really oversold daily nature on this. And I do think a bounce up to, once again, that exponential moving average, which is this white line right here, is in the cards. But on top of that, the support's the big one. I do think that even if we don't come up to test the top line of resistance on this ascending channel in the shorter term, dating back to mid-October, I do definitely think we can see a third test of this trend line right here, which is, again, overall line of resistance on the macro downtrend dating back to the all-time high. That would take us to, if we test this is 2023 right here, this white line. Say we test this right before New Year's, okay, going into New Year's weekend. That would bring us up about 8.5%, okay, or to a level of 290. But if we break this line of resistance, that's when things get really exciting. That's when things get really potentially bullish, because that would constitute an official macro breakout. And of course, we do want to see a daily closure at the very least, preferably weekly candle closure above this line, because it's such a long-term line of resistance. But if we do break above this red trend line right here, that's big news, and we could potentially be back off to the races going into 2023. So if we do see that, I think it'll be a very quick jump to test the top line of resistance. You could even count this the line of resistance, honestly, but conservative line of resistance right here. I do think that it's possible we see, if we do break this come New Year's, over the next week or two going into mid-January, we could maybe reclaim a $300 to $305 QQQ. And again, if the Qs do well, if the S&P 500 does well, then it definitely means Bitcoin is going to do well. Riot's going to do well. Bullish on those. Again, these are looking good. I'll make a video on those soon. We'll write about those. We'll do coverage on those in the newsletter I write immediately after I finish recording this. Apple, not looking good. Tesla is absolutely tanking, which actually, you guys know I'm a fairly long time Tesla bear, and I'm not one to shy away from Tesla puts. But right now, I know Elon's looking for a new Twitter CEO. That should be good news, you'd think. But I think Tesla technically is going to bounce soon, even though I'm notoriously a Tesla bear. I'm getting significantly less bearish, or I have gotten significantly less bearish on the stock, considering it's down 55%, I think, in the past 3 months. That's insane. ARK, great long-term buy right now, close to low lows. Unity, I like that. AI and Veritone, a couple of my favorite stocks from a longer-term perspective. Those will probably be featured, or one of those will definitely be featured in my top 3, maybe even buy and hold of 2023. Matterport and SoFi, love to see those outperforming. Both stocks, I think, are ridiculously undervalued right now, and I'm excited to see what happens to both of those. And again, I'd love to see them in the green today. Both amazing companies. So I'm super bullish on both of those going into 2023. ChargePoint, Plug Power, probably my 2 favorite green energy plays. Not doing so hot today, but I still think both of those are very good candidates going into 2023 as well. Carvana, obviously, rightfully so, they are going into... They're probably going to claim bankruptcy, file for Chapter 11 or some restructuring deal. But I personally think Carvana is going to get acquired. I think that's an exciting play. Virgin Galactic, space play. I think space is similar to AI, one of the sectors that will boom into 2023. See a hype cycle. And I'm really excited to see what happens with space stocks overall, especially like maxr, with what happened with maxr Technologies recently. Coinbase, not doing so hot today. Coinbase is in a tough spot just because there's less capital flowing. Similar to Robinhood, less traders. The reason these YouTube videos are getting less views, the reason things are just slowing down. So, again, if you're still watching, especially this far in the video, you're an absolute gem. You are a real one, and I appreciate you. But again, you guys, that's just the nature of the game. A lot of people have gotten wiped out. There's less capital flowing. So again, if you guys do still have capital, if you're still playing the game, if you still have money to play the game, then you're one of the few. And again, in my mind, you deserve to be here, absolutely. So those are the names we're going to cover, you guys. Again, just a quick rapid fire, just some names I'm excited about. And of course, that is an inclination as to the call options I'm holding right now. Again, out of respect for current members of Waves Cap, will not be disclosing the specifics of those positions. But again, if you want to know exactly which calls I'm holding, when I'm buying more calls, when I'm selling calls, when I'm taking profits from puts and buying more calls that are down, again, literally how I'm trading on a day-to-day basis. And of course, you get all my stock and crypto positions as well. First link down below. I appreciate you guys joining Waves Cap for real. But once again, if not, no worries at all. Happy holidays, you guys, and I'll see you downstairs in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, team.